This is CBS News Chicago.
Right now at 5, breaking news. A massive water main break in Skokie, leaving block after block underwater.
I want to show you where it all started. Right behind us is the source of all of this water.
The extensive damage and the possible cause. Tens of thousands being told do not drink the tap water.
Along with freezing temperatures, snow moves in tonight. I'll show you the latest projections on just how much snow we're expecting through the weekend.
Also breaking, flames rip through a Chicago apartment building, killing a little boy. We're learning what happened when the stairs inside collapsed.
Good afternoon. I'm Marie Saavedra.
Great to have you with us. I'm Joe Donlin. We begin on this Friday night with breaking news. Right now, boil orders are in place in Skokie and part of Evanston following a massive water main break about 12 hours ago. That break flooded streets, homes, and cars, and it shut down businesses on what would have been a very busy Friday night.
We have live team coverage of the damage and the investigation. We begin with our Tara Molina live at the Skokie Police Department. And Tara, a lot of families there still do not have water.
That's right, Maria and Joe. No water and very low pressure for so many here in Skokie right now. And it's really not clear exactly when that will change. For those with water, there is a boil order in effect right now that we know impacts more than 67,000 people just here in Skokie. What does that boil order mean? Water here needs to be boiled for at least 5 minutes before it can be used for anything.
Boiled and bottled water and/or bottled water should be used for drinking, making ice, brushing teeth.
If residents drank the water before the boil order was issued and experience any gastrointestinal issues, we're told they should reach their doctor. Just one message from Skokie leaders sharing the latest following the water main break here this morning. Those officials still don't know how many gallons of water have been lost here to put the scale of this break into context, but we know thousands are impacted. Officials say they do not know if the emergency repair public works crews were making to a break in the area yesterday afternoon was connected to this one. Those crews at work until 2 a.m., just hours before this break was discovered.
We don't know at this time whether there is a connection between those two events.
It's not just homes, businesses, and schools. With the water main break impacting operations, Endeavor Health canceled appointments here in Skokie and Evanston today. They confirmed their emergency department is sending ambulances to other facilities, a spokesperson telling me their focus is on patient safety. I asked officials a question we know is top of mind for so many here right now. Who bears responsibility here when it comes to paying for car and home damage?
Folks should work first with their insurance provider because we don't know the particulars of those coverages and those circumstances. But then beyond that, the village has a risk management division, so the village then will respond accordingly to whatever insurance determination is made.
And for the most dire cases here, we know that the Red Cross is present right now, helping folks find shelter heading into tonight. Reporting live outside the Skokie Police Department, I'm Tara Molina, CBS News Chicago Investigators.
Tara, thank you.
Our Sarah Maki is right where that break happened.
Sarah, the water's gone down a little bit, but it is still a mess out there.
Still a mess, but guys, a lot of progress being made. We have a major development since I last checked in with you. I want you to take a look behind us. They are bringing in some heavy machinery. You can probably see just the top of this backhoe that they brought out to the scene. That happened in the last 10 to 15 minutes it got here. City leaders have been calling this break unprecedented. Neighbors have been calling it unbelievable. A shocking, surprising start for some residents.
We never expected to get lakefront property for Valentine's Day.
Information about the massive leak trickling in more slowly for others.
This morning I actually was up early and then turned the faucet on and realized the water wasn't coming.
But when residents took a look outside, this is what they found. Water stretching out over several blocks, creating a layer of ice in some spots, so high it trapped cars in others.
We've been talking to the neighbors all morning, just making sure everybody can get their cars out and their wheels don't freeze.
It was over the wheels when I came out. I was parked right there and it was over the wheels, so I thought, let me move it.
At least one resident, just yards from the break, realized it could be related to work she heard late at night.
I could feel my bed moving. with me in it, so you know they were drilling hard.
This Target in Skokie running portable restrooms for customers with a sign on the door warning they are out of water. By about 10:30, they were getting a handle on some of the spread. Water draining, leaving ice shelves to show just how deep it got, as crews used shovels and plows to clear the snow and ice left behind for a water main break that will be remembered long after the street is repaired.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime happening.
Still a lot of work to be done. The road behind us closed. We've been told it's still too early to know how long they will be out here tonight or when the work will be complete. From Skokie, Sarah Maki, CBS News, Chicago.
Glad to see some progress there. Thank you, Sarah.
Our Chris Habermill is in Skywatch live over Skokie.
And Chris, 12 hours later, some roads and businesses are still closed.
Indeed, we've got part of McCormick Boulevard shut down, and this is that tracked excavator that Sarah was talking about. She just saw the top part of the arm, the boom here. They offloaded it about 15 minutes ago, put it together, and they're ready to go ahead and excavate the scene here at East Prairie and Emerson where that break took place. All that water cascading south into the neighborhoods here. Good progress, as Sarah has noted. They've got a lot of salt down on the side streets and in the alleys and whatnot, and they completely go back over and over and over it. They push it out of the way with blades. They put more salt down. We do have some big closures here, not just this closure of McCormick Boulevard, but also Westfield Old Orchard Shopping Center is shut down this evening. We have the Skokie Public Library, which is closed, and the schools that were in the area, they either let the students go early, they modified their schedules, or they went to e-learning. Chris Habermill, CBS News, Skywatch.
Great perspective from above, Chris. Thank you.
Now to our First Alert Weather Team. Chief Meteorologist Albert Ramon and meteorologist David Yeomans are in the weather sphere for us.
So the ice, it sounds like we'll be sticking around for a while because I know we are in for some very cold temperatures even into next week.
Right.
It sure will, guys. And whether or not weather was involved in what caused this with the water main break, we know that weather is going to make the cleanup process a lot more difficult.
It's 20 degrees warmer now than it was when this water main broke around 5 a.m., but we're still below freezing, and that's where we're going to remain tonight and for most of tomorrow. So right now, live conditions in Skokie, 24 degrees. This is a look at the temperatures from the last 12 hours. And when the water main broke, we're at 4 degrees above zero, made it in the 20s. We're going to remain in the 20s here tonight into tomorrow morning. There is at least a little bit of thawing that will happen tomorrow. We're thinking between 1 o'clock in the afternoon and 4 p.m., a chance that we go above freezing by 2 degrees. That's about it. But then we're going to get really cold starting late Sunday with temperatures falling below zero Sunday night. Look at this. We're only talking about single digits for your Monday and Tuesday. Of course, the other big story that we're tracking, we'll bring in David for this. We've got snow, and it's on the Doppler radar, a low live Doppler, and out here towards the west, David, here it comes. It's going to get snowy here tonight.
You're right. We're starting to see some in our far western suburbs, and as it overcomes the dry air over Chicago, let's project the future cast forward. You can see the timeline there at the bottom of your screen, and the snow will be advancing across our area, mainly in Chicago between about 6:30 or 7 and 9 o'clock this evening. As this loops, you can just see a lot of white across the map. It is going to be a snowy and windy Valentine's evening. Let's pop up how much we may see. Down in Rensselaer, good 1.5 inches just this evening. Gary and Valparaiso, 1 inch to 1.5 inches. And up here at O'Hare and Midway, similar totals, maybe even heavier up in McHenry and Waukegan, over 3 inches possible just from this first round tonight. But we have more rounds coming. Albert Ramon has your full weekend forecast, and it looks a little snowy coming up in just a few minutes.
David, Albert, thank you both.
Now, more breaking news. A 6-year-old boy is dead after a fire at a West Rogers Park apartment building.
Our Marissa Sulik's live at the scene with more on what happened here. Marissa?
Yeah, we are here on the corner of Granville and California, and you can see this is what happened to this apartment building here behind me. You can see that black streak going down from the windows there. This is where a fast-moving fire took place that left one 6-year-old boy dead and his mom in critical condition. I'm also told that 2 firefighters are dealing with minor injuries after a staircase collapsed inside. Skywatch flew over the fire around 11 this morning when flames and smoke were blazing from this building. 100 firefighters responded, and initial reports say the fire started on the first floor and caused back porches to collapse. The Chicago Fire Department says they put holes in the roof to ventilate the smoke and had ladders up in case they needed to get people out. It took over an hour to extinguish the flames. We spoke with one resident who said he was sleeping at the time the fire started and had to grab anything he could.
I was still asleep. So before I now heard at my door, hey, boy, there is fire there, you know? And I rushed out. I was on my singlets and just my boxers.
Now, the people who lived in the 12 units behind me are currently in a warming bus waiting to see what belongings they can get. I spoke with one man on there who said he tried to save that 6-year-old boy. He went to his apartment, tried to open the door, but the doorknob burned his hand. He was unable to actually reach him at the time. We're told by Chicago Fire that this cause is still under investigation. Live in West Rogers Park, Marissa Sulik, CBS News, Chicago.
So sad. Marissa, thank you very much. Also breaking tonight, new details on what may have led to the mid-air collision between an American Airlines jet and a Black Hawk helicopter. 67 people were killed when the two aircraft collided last month over Washington, D.C. A recording from the helicopter cockpit suggests the crew may not have heard the instructions from an air traffic controller to pass behind the plane because the helicopter's microphone key was pressed.
Next at 5, that widespread snow is starting to move in. We check back in with Albert, who's also tracking our blast of polar air.
On this Valentine's Day, the Cubs held their first full squad workout of spring training, but they're hoping to still be feeling the love come October.
And this is what a walk to the backyard looks like for many in Skokie tonight. Lawns completely iced over after today's devastating water main break. More on that ahead. You might remember this devastating scene from 2 years ago. Roaring flames taking over 14 acres in south suburban Chicago Heights.
The warehouse of local manufacturer Morgan Lee flattened as a result. Our Megan Hickey covered that fire investigation back in 2023. Today, she has an exclusive look at the rebuild that many thought could never happen.
In that moment, you're absolutely in shock, and you're just hoping that everyone's okay.
As soon as I crossed over the steel bridge, I saw like what I couldn't believe it. I mean, the amount of smoke and how black it was.
Owners Andy and Jonathan Rosenband tell me the cause of the fire, 2 years after all of their employees miraculously escaped the February 6, 2023 blaze safely, is still undetermined.
We'll never know.
But within hours of the fire, they were looking towards fire prevention, including a next-generation sprinkler system, and discussing how they would bring their third-generation manufacturing business.
We engineer and manufacture retail store fixtures, furniture, and graphics.
Back to Chicago Heights one day.
We'll have around 10,000 pallet positions available for storage.
Feels like a lot, right?
Yep.
It took the support of the business community.
That they had this vision to come back.
City of Chicago Heights.
And to see this rebirth and this reinvestment, we can't speak enough to how meaningful it is for the city.
And Principal Construction.
But to be able to bring something out of the ashes.
To turn the rubble of this turn of the 20th century building into a futuristic facility that will be bringing operations under one roof.
The coverage you guys had, I was watching it, and I was awestruck. I'm like, that is one of the biggest fires I've ever seen, right? And here we are 2 years later in a state-of-the-art facility.
And help others forge a blueprint for a comeback after facing one of the worst days of their lives.
The sun rises, so while it is devastating and often difficult to process, time does heal. And I think it's important to look at ways into the future and figure out how either to move on or to rebuild.
The 276,000 square foot factory should be open in May, bringing about 25 to 30 jobs back to the city that it's long called home. Reporting in Chicago Heights, Megan Hickey, CBS News Chicago investigators.
Megan, thanks.
Great to see it back. Even better. Let's move now to First Alert weather. Heavy snow moving in on this Valentine's Day, and it could impact your plans tonight.
Chief Meteorologist Albert Ramones in the Weather Sphere. He's timing it all out. Albert, I know it's just a few hours away, if not less.
Yeah, it's going to be increasing now through about 7 p.m. and the bulk of snow is going to happen mid-evening. There's a look at the disturbance coming in out of Iowa. Starting to see increasing snow right now just the west of us, moving through the western portion of the state. The bulk of this snow, though, moves out of the area beyond 10 o'clock. And we'll have some lingering snow opportunities as we head towards about the early morning hours of tomorrow. But a lot of this is going to be out of the area after 10 o'clock. But there's more snow to tell you about, that's for sure, in the forecast. So now through 7 p.m., the radar will continue to fill in from west to east, 7, 8, 9 o'clock. o'clock. That's the window for some heavier bursts of snow coming down at 1, if not 1.5 inches per hour. It's not going to be heavy the entire time, but if you're doing some traveling, a sharply reduced visibility is going to be happening, and also we'll get that quick coating of snow out on the roadway. And we're talking about accumulations anywhere from 1 to 3 inches here for tonight. So slick roads, slick sidewalks, it's going to be with us, and at times some low visibility. So there's a look at the Doppler radar. I know this looks ominous. Looks like we have a blue wall headed our way, but the atmosphere is so dry where we're at, it's going to take some time for the snow to make its way down south. I was just looking at some observations in Peru, which is out towards LaSalle County. No snow making it to the ground just yet, so that's why we're seeing increasing snow from west to east now through 7 p.m. You'll see that here on our hour-by-hour forecast as we are in the mid-20s right now. Wind chills are in the teens. There's the snow blanketing most of the area at 8 o'clock. That continues through 9 o'clock. Beyond 10 o'clock, though, those snow chances start to move on out, and overnight we'll have some lingering opportunities of snow. Not done with snow chances, though. We've got scattered opportunities of snow in the forecast for your Saturday. Notice the temperatures tomorrow. They're milder, even going above freezing for a little bit, so some of this will be not just wet snow, but south of I-80, maybe even some freezing drizzle, freezing rain. So light glaze is going to be possible for areas down towards the south. More snow coming off of Lake Michigan. This is lake enhanced snow as we head towards your Sunday morning, and then we'll start to see those snow opportunities dwindle as we head towards your Sunday night. Let's talk snowfall amounts now through Sunday. 2 to 4 inches on average. There could be some higher amounts right along the lakeside this weekend and also in northwest Indiana. A place like Waukegan just tonight could see as much as 3 inches of snow, 2 to 4 inches really for the rest of us. And then the other part of the story is the dramatic drop in temperatures on Sunday. Falling temperatures on Sunday. We'll have wind chills in the teens by Sunday afternoon. We could have wind chills Sunday night into Monday morning as cold as 25 below zero. The high temperature Monday at 9. Really concerned now about Tuesday. Some of the new data coming in this afternoon suggesting parts of the area could have wind chills as cold as 30 below zero. So that's something we're going to keep an eye on. So weather alerts posted for your Monday and Tuesday, not because of snow, but because of dangerous cold. And it is a slow climb to 20 degrees a week from today. Weather alert, though, in place for this evening for some slick travel as this weather system moves in over the next couple of hours. Back over to you.
We will be in touch, Albert. Thanks.
Tonight on the CBS Evening News, the secret to a happy marriage.
I'm Steve Hartman. Forget expensive chocolates. If you want a long, happy relationship, this couple says you can have it for a song. The story when we go on the road to Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Coming up on the CBS Evening News.
Jory Paris is here with a look at sports and the latest for our teams out of Arizona.
Yeah, spring training just keeps ramping up here. Full squad workouts starting. Cubs top prospect Matt Shaw, who's competing to win the starting job at third base, is dealing with an oblique soreness. And his day-to-day, the injury is not believed to be serious, which is good news at spring training, where there's plenty of optimism for the rest of the team as well. Ryan Baker is in Mesa.
Golf game's going to slow down now, but it's in a good spot.
The golf clubs are taking a backseat to the heavy lumber now that the full squad has taken the field here at Cubs camp. There's a distinct focus on finishing the job and playing into October.
You know, obviously that's the goal every year is to be in the playoffs, go up and win the division, and have a chance to play in the postseason. So, yeah, I feel like we have a really good group. I feel like we have a group that has a lot of experience and done a lot of good things in the game.
This is the best roster I feel like that I've been a part of going into a season. It feels really exciting.
There's a lot of opportunity in front of us, and I feel like we just got to continue each and every day to just put the work in order to be the best we can be. I think that's going to be the message to us this year, is just to enjoy the journey, but not take it for granted.
When asked about being home again in October, Dansby Swanson said that he, quote, hated it. He was much more positive about his health after undergoing core muscle surgery that made it painful to laugh or even sneeze last season. Everybody here is hoping that 2025 is nothing to sneeze at. Covering Cubs spring training in Mesa, Arizona, Ryan Baker, CBS News, Chicago.
Thank you, Ryan. Bulls rookie Matas Buzelis All-Star Weekend just got busier. The forward was selected to play in the Rising Stars game in place of the injured Pelicans center Yves Missi. The Hinsdale native is the 19th Bulls player to participate in a Rising Stars game. Buzelis, of course, will participate in Saturday night's slam dunk contest. He is the Bulls' lone representative there in San Francisco.
Looking forward to those highlights.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see. Yeah. Good for him. That's an honor.
Oh, definitely. And he's been playing with such confidence this season. It's been fun.
Great. Thanks, Jory.
Tonight at 10, you may have missed the chance to buy Michael Jordan's custom-built home, but now you can rent it.
And the new owner says that rental is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. This home has 9 bedrooms, a gym, a tennis court, and a putting green. At 10, the 6-figure price you have to shell out to rent it all. So love is in the air this Valentine's Day for more than just humans.
The Anti-Cruelty Society hopes you'll go out on a ledge, if you will, and open your hearts to some four-legged friends. The rescue used the ledge at Chicago's Sky Deck to showcase 2 of their animals available for adoption. This is Ketchup and Mustard, brother and sister, kitties looking for a loving home. If you're afraid of heights, there are more animals available actually at the Anti-Cruelty Society's River North Adoption Center. You don't have to go to the Sky Deck to see it. But in honor of the holiday date, adoption fees just $14 through Sunday.
Okay, here comes the snow. Reports of blowing snow just to the southwest of Streator in LaSalle County. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Increasing snow area wide now through 7 o'clock. Some of the snow will be heavy this evening. I think the heaviest in Chicago, 7, 7:30, 8, 8:30. And then we'll start to see this activity begin to shift out of the area by about 9:45, 10 o'clock. And we're looking at reduced visibility, a quick 1 to 3 inches of snowfall, additional snowfall in the forecast Saturday and Sunday. So watch out for the slick spots tonight and through the weekend.
Thanks, Albert.
Your local news continues on our digital streaming network, CBS News Chicago.
CBS Evening News comes your way next, and we'll see you right back here for our news at 6.